Okay, this is my water heater modification. I have to change this out. This was my water heating element that went in from the top. And I used it and it was working alright. But what was happening was it was warming up the top half of the water first, and then it would take a long time to get down towards the bottom. So this would be really hot up here, and it'd be actually pretty cool down here. And I guess a lot of you already know that, but what I wanted to do in my mind, I wanted to somehow heat it from the bottom and just have it trickle up. I would need less watts to do that too. So my mind went over to a crock pot situation or a hot plate or something. And you've probably seen this too, is like a coffee or hot drink dispenser. And it has a heating element at the bottom of it as well. So this one's already pretty set up to be a water heater. This is what I was originally thinking in my mind. And I ended up seeing one at a thrift store, and I decided to just buy that. So I'll probably be tinkering around with that one. This is 1000 watts, the same as this. And so it would get the water really hot, and it's set up and you could just basically plug it in and go. Maybe seal it on the top and put a couple, tap a couple inlets, one for pressure, one for the inlet. You could do it that way. My goal was to get the least amount of wattage possible. I had an idea with this actually. Even though this is 1000 watts, it's 1000 something watts, and I still might actually go in this direction on this one, because I was thinking you could buy a I guess a thermostat, not a thermostat, but a resistant. A switch is a resistor, so you can dial up the watts or down. And I forget what those are called. It's probably a resistor dial or something. And you'll find those on pretty much all appliances. I mean, if they have a temperature thing dial on it, it's basically increasing or decreasing the resistance on the electrical wattage. So if you just can buy one of those, and then you could adjust the wattage that you want in this thing. So that was one of the ideas I had. So you still might be able to use this and have the range of a low wattage thing or a high wattage thing, depending on what you want to use for it. But I thought that was a good idea. And so I looked up what the wattage is for a typical crock pot, and it's around 190 to maybe 250 watts for low and high. And I have another crock pot that's less than 290, or I think it was 190 watts. So that's like a couple light bulbs, so that's pretty awesome just to get just to warm it up, have good warm water. Doesn't have to get all the way hot, and that's pretty much the point, is that when I take a shower, all I want is a comfortable warm shower. I don't need to have hot. And basically what we do anyway when we turn on the shower is we turn on the hot and the cold, and the cold is just for adjusting the temperature anyways, to get the temperature down. So if you think about that, all you need is just a comfortable warm water, and you wouldn't need to use cold at all in your water mix. So that's what I've been doing with this, is I get it warm enough and I just turn the hot water valve on, and it's warm and it's cozy. It's great. So I've been using it that way. the problem was I couldn't keep it filling up, because this was open. In order to keep the heating element in there, it wasn't completely sealed off. There was a hole up there, so I had to fill up the water and stop it so it wouldn't overflow. And so my goal for that was to have it fully enclosed and sealed up, so that when I took a shower, it would deplete the warmer water, and then at the same time fresh water would be coming in, just like a normal water heater. But this would be so much more efficient with the warmth and stuff, so I could actually take a longer shower doing it that way. And then I have a pressure valve, and what I did with this is already on here, but I actually took this off, and I opened that up where the spring was, and I put a less tough spring. It was I found another spring that was a lot easier to press down, so it doesn't take as much pressure to have that pop. This is designed to take pressure anyways, but I just wanted it to at least hold the water in as it is filling up, and then if there happens to be too much pressure, it will release it slowly, and so it'll have that safety feature. And my goal was to get the wattage as low as possible so I could use a battery, like a car battery or something, get enough power to warm this. I actually opened this up to get to the insides. I know all these crock pots are going to be different, but this is an older one. I actually opened up the bottom. Here's the bottom of it. There's a little clip there. But so these are the heated wires, and it looks like there's some fiberglass and whatever around it to keep it from melting it or something. And it's wrapped around this a couple times around this, if you can see it in there, and then across the bottom, so it gets like all around. So what I'm going to attempt to do, since I measured this out, and this is the same diameter as the tank, I could actually just set this inside, and it'll fit inside. But you could see the problem is that spigot. So I might cut out the bottom here and then just have this set around. I might do it that way. I'm just debating, but this will give you some ideas of what you can do. Depending on what you like, if you really like hot water, you want the option, then go with this idea, and it's already pretty much set up. Or if you like a low wattage, just a warm, nice shower water, then I think a crock pot would work, and you could use a battery with it if you want. Hopefully this made sense as I was rambling on. If not, at least you'll get some ideas. But this did work. It was working. It just wasn't working very, very well with heating the top part and not the bottom so much. I had to shake it around to get the heated water to circulate in there, and then it was warm enough. So on the bottom of this crock pot, I just I took a wire, used this hole in the center, and wrapped the wire around this pen, and I just kind of traced where I want to cut it. Now I wanted to get it just wide enough to go over here, and I cut it with my skill saw. That worked really well, just cut right through that. So I'm left with this. It's just the two heated wires that go around that, with the extra heated wires for the that go across the bottom. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make it fit as snug as possible right down to the point of that spigot. I don't think it's going to be hot enough to actually melt that, but I'll just put a layer of fiberglass cloth around it, and then it'll just keep it constantly warm. But it should be pretty simple as that. Got my little notch cut out of there, so and I'll bend some things around just to get it snug on there. Plus my fiberglass cloth, I'm going to put a little bit of that around in it so it'll hold it. And then these heated wires will just go right down below like that. I don't know, that should work. Why not? Makes me laugh though, it looks kind of funny. But so now I can get this top sealed up. The warm water will be down here floating up, and as the water depletes, as I take a shower, the water will keep filling it. So I probably won't put the fiberglass cloth on the inside there. I was just thinking that because it has that fiberglass cloth over the wires, and I just thought use the same stuff, but it might help just to get maybe aluminum foil. I don't know, some way to even out the space, and then the metal will conduct the warmth, and it might even help it not be so intensely hot, and I could use the high setting so it's not going to weaken this plastic or melt. I don't know. I don't think it'll melt, but I think it'll just, I don't know, just have to experiment and see what it does. I'm just going to explain to you real quick what I'm doing. I'm going to modify this crock pot thing. I did spray paint it with some high heat spray paint, just so it's not so crock potty looking. But I took the bottom of the original crock pot, and this is the insulation that went on the bottom. So I'm going to utilize that, and I just got some extra scrap aluminum sheets, and I just got this just to extend it longer, and I use my pop rivets, and so basically I'm just going to extend it so it fits on here. So I just need to explain that so when it looks completed it'll make sense. Alright, well there's the modified water heater. That's the finished product. I'm going to see how this thing works. I'll test it for a while and then I'll do a report on how it works. I do want to address the pressure in case you have any questions about that. Basically, this is, you know, one of those pump spray things for your lawn or any chemical or whatever. So this is designed for pressure, as you probably know, but it has a pressure valve, as I mentioned before. I did make it replace the spring so it's a little easier to, you know, pop. This top here, I just have like a rubber thing, and if there's too much pressure it'll just kind of bulge up. And this side is gravity fed water. This is the inlet for the supply, and if there's too much pressure it'll just kind of back up right into the tank. So there's a few different ways that the pressure can release, and so I'm not really worried that much about too much pressure building. When I had the heating element in there before, I did see it bubbling just a little bit as it was heating up, but it wasn't like boiling and like steaming and everything. So I felt pretty confident that it's not going to build up so much pressure that it's going to explode. So I just wanted to mention those things since this is a gravity fed system, it's always going to be open water right here. So that's going to be one of the biggest parts of not worrying about the pressure. It's going to just come out here.